good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever we want to say. Anyway, we are wishing all our students, okay? We are interacting. So this is what, dear students, you need to do with whom? With the patients. So don't expect your patient to say, Namaskara, doctor. Let him say. But even before that, you will, many times, you will know them, or even if you don't know, Namaskara, Banni. Okay, this is just an example I'm giving you. So that's how you should be. So first is greeting. Okay, so today's class we're continuing with hematology topic. So you will know what is the topic that we are going to talk about. Okay, so I'll give some of the what to say, analogies, or some words I'll tell you. So you need to pick up from there. Okay. Spoon, bald head. Okay. So whiteboard. What does it tell, Samiksha?
Pallor.
Only pallor. I said three words.
Spoon shaped is nails is
Yeah.
colon.
So when I said spoon, so koilonychia, then bald, I said pale, bald tongue, then whiteboard, I said pallor, something like that. So where do we put all these three together?
Anemia.
Anemia. What anemia?
Iron deficiency.
Specifically, yeah. So we have to go land up there in iron deficiency anemia. Okay, so let us start. I'll start sharing the screen, and many of us, to all the students know about iron metabolism. Okay, so is my screen sharing working? Okay, so I've shared the screen, right? No, I've shared. I had not shared the screen. Okay, fine. So this is the first slide that we are starting. So let me start with the slideshow. Yes. So iron capsule with the iron granules in it. And so nicely, this company has made a red part for that. Mm. Maybe they have something in mind, like depicting hemoglobin, blood, and all that. Yes. So these two pictures, all of you are familiar. So microcyte and a normocyte. So if I call this as normocyte, this becomes microcyte. And a typical normocytic or microcytic hypochromic blood picture, it is also admixed with normocytic hypochromic red cells. So hypochromia is so well evident here. See, the central part of the RBC is showing pallor. What is this cell here? Does this have pallor? Yes. So where is the pallor? It is in the center. So what is the shape of that? No, the pallor, yeah, slightly more than a groove. So this is actually a stomatocyte. So this is how a stomatocyte will have. So mouth. So that is the gap. Okay, if we do, that is the pallor. So stomatocyte. Fine. So iron deficiency anemia. So we need to know about it, whether developed country or developing, especially India, because so many children, so many women suffer from iron deficiency anemia. So our aim should be to identify, so treat them and teach them, give them knowledge to prevent this iron deficiency. Okay, three things. So now we are teaching all of you students about iron deficiency, but this is what you need to start from today itself. Don't wait to get your graduation, to become a graduate, Indian medical graduate or an MBBS graduate. Okay, so start from now on. Did you have anemia anytime?
No.
Did you suffer from anemia? Yeah. So I'm also happy to say that I never, but I had once anemia. It was just transient. I've experienced how difficult it is, to walk or move around and breathe. So much dyspnea. That was for a short period. I was really treated well with iron. Okay. So anemia with biological evidence of iron deficiency based on the following laboratory. So the self-explanatory, the terminology iron deficiency is anemia is an anemia which is caused. So all of you have learned the definition of anemia. So iron deficiency anemia is giving us the etiology. So last class we spoke about morphological types of anemia more. So microcytic hypochromic anemia, and we gave more causes for microcytic hypochromic anemia apart from iron deficiency. So this is an anemia with biological evidence of iron deficiency based on the following laboratory finding. Yes. So why do we say there is iron deficiency, or how do we say? How confident are we to say that this is anemia due to iron deficiency? Yes, we need to have all these are evidence-based, investigations, methodologies, and laboratory medicine. So serum ferritin, what is serum ferritin? So you all told me last class that this is a storage form of iron. So reduced serum ferritin, total binding iron binding capacity, transferrin saturation or transferrin receptor. So what happens to all these? That means we do ferrokinetic studies and then confirm it. So this slide has only one point. So there's no scope for a bullet here. Okay. So all of you can see, my dear students, I've increased the size of the cursor and I've changed it to red also, because each time we were finding it difficult to view the cursor in the recorded videos. So iron deficiency is a result of long-term negative iron balance. That is progressive loss of iron. So this says that our body has iron stores. So progressive loss of iron stores in the form of, that means hemosiderin and ferritin are the storage forms of iron. So when there is progressive loss, okay, so it leads to iron deficiency. So IDA here stands for
Iron deficiency.
iron deficiency anemia. Okay. So most common nutritional deficiency in developing and developed countries. So leading cause of anemia worldwide. So this accounts for 50% of cases. So prevalence greatly varies according to the age, gender, physiological, pathological, environmental, and socio-economic conditions. See, developing country as well as developed countries. That's it. So in India, WHO statistics, I think, goes even higher. So 35 to 45% of the area studies. It's frequently higher in females, more so in pregnancy, where the prevalence rate is 45 to 60%, obviously. So in pregnancy, there is an increased demand for iron. Even the fetus is in need of iron. So let us look at erythropoiesis. Again, this is what you had learned in physiology, the RBC production and maturation. So where do RBCs develop from? So here we are looking at the parents, grandparents, and great-grandparents. So where are they all? They're all in the bone marrow. So all the RBCs are in the blood and they're all in the bone marrow. So first it is a pluripotent hematopoietic stem cell, the proerythroblast. So from the proerythroblast, we see three series of cells developing. Okay, so we call them as erythroblast or a normoblast. So what are these three series? One is early, intermediate, late. That is what you have shown here. So early erythroblast is also called as basophilic because it's got blue color cytoplasm. So then intermediate normoblast is called as polychromatophilic. So it starts getting that pink and blue color in the cytoplasm. Why that color? Because the cytoplasm starts hemoglobinizing. Hemoglobin starts in the cytoplasm. That's why two colors. Then orthochromatic is the late normoblast. The cytoplasm would have the same, almost would be the same, the color would be the same as that of an erythrocyte. That means it would have as accumulated or got enough hemoglobin, or hemoglobinization is complete. So that is the cytoplasmic maturity what we talk about. So when we say all this, what is that? Color, okay, basophilic, polychromatophilic, and orthochromatic. Okay, so from orthochromatic, so from here to here we said the cytoplasmic color blue, mixture of blue and pink. What happens? Another thing is the size of the cell starts reducing, and the nucleus which is there, it will be big in a basophilic erythroblast. It's slightly smaller in polychromatophilic, and still very smaller pycnotic, and in the verge of being thrown out in case of orthochromatic. So it will be at the periphery, and you many times in the smear we see these cells being, the nucleus being extruded, you know, it would have come out. So this is very nicely depicted here. And from the late normoblast, we get to see the immediate, you know, sibling I was telling. So the reticulocyte. So we call it as reticulocyte only when we stain it with supravital stain. Otherwise, in the smear, we call it as polychromatophilic RBC. Okay. This doesn't have any nucleus. This is without nucleus. And this is slightly larger than the mature erythrocyte. So it's about 8 microns. Then comes the mature erythrocyte. So lifespan also you have seen, you have given 120 days here. Reticulocyte usually spends 3 days in marrow, 1 day in the blood. So reticulocyte percentage also we have said, which constitutes about 0.2 to 2% or 2.2%. Yes. So let us talk about ion balance. Normally we say there is positive ion balance. What is the meaning of it? The amount we consume, the amount that is excreted. Okay. So it is maintained. Normal ion content of the body is 3 to 4 grams. Where is it present, the ion?
Hemoglobin.
Louder.
Hemoglobin in the blood, myoglobin, and
Hemoglobin, myoglobin, cytochromes. So as hemoglobin is giving color, that's a pigmented protein in the RBCs. We see pigmented protein, myoglobin in the
muscle.
muscles. Okay. So iron is best absorbed as ferrous form. Where is it absorbed? Duodenum and small, to a smaller extent in jejunum. So I think it is time to skip this. Okay. So these students are better. So they know this better. But the requirement, anyway, you have said 8 milligrams for adult male and postmenopausal women, whereas menstruating female, see, so much, 18 milligrams. Even during lactation and pregnancy, the demand is more. Yes. So look at the iron storage. I'll just skip this. I'll go to the pathological aspects. Iron sources, all of you know that iron is available as heme sources, non-heme. That is heme iron, non-heme iron. Heme iron is all in non-vegetarian food. Non-heme iron is in vegetable, fruits, and dried beans, nuts, grain products, and all, you know, dietary food what we take. So at this juncture, because this is July month, you know, so we celebrated Doctors' Day on July 1st. I just remember B.C. Roy. B.C. Roy was, of course, a chief minister. So he was practicing also, I believe. You know, what he did was to overcome the iron deficiency. He started distributing bananas. You know, he made everybody eat banana. Banana is one of the source of, good source of iron. That's why we usually say, what happens if you cut banana and keep it, whether it's raw banana or ripe, it turns black, right? So most of these vegetables and fruits which turn black on cutting, they all have iron, enough iron. Okay. So gastric acid or ascorbic acid increases non-heme iron absorption, whereas phytates and all that, they interfere with the iron absorption. So this we should know. This is what we tell the patients also. After you take iron, don't drink immediately coffee, tea, and all that. Yes, or don't take antacids and all that. Yeah. So iron absorption, iron metabolism, all these we get more information from our students. Yes, iron absorption, dietary intake, factors promoting iron absorption. Just now we spoke about it, the hydrochloric acid. So heme iron is better absorbed than ascorbic acid, vitamin C helping absorption. All these will interfere with the absorption. So iron transport. So if we know this, the physiology, that's why we learn there. So we can understand pathology better and we'll know the etiology. And once you know the etiology, understand the pathogenesis, so you become a very good clinician to treat the cause. Otherwise, you're equated to a quack. Quack also can keep on giving iron for iron deficiency. But if there is malabsorption, what happens? Whatever iron you give orally will never be absorbed. So we need to know the cause. This is just an example I gave you. Okay, iron storage. So where all it is stored, you can see. So hemosiderin and ferritin are the storage forms of iron. So this again, we spoke about the special stain. Under which context did we talk about special stain for iron in the previous class?
Sideroblast.
We showed the ring sideroblast, okay, where the non-heme iron, the granules are situated around the nucleus of the erythroblast. Yes. So etiology for iron deficiency is one is dietary deficiency. Why dietary deficiency? Low socioeconomic cause, or nowadays, you may say, we say developed and developing countries, right? So many people will have dietary deficiency. It need not always be low socioeconomic. Food faddism. You have enough money, but you will be eating what is very tasty for you, right? So pizza, burger culture. So if you do not eat adequate foods containing iron, this is what happens. So we keep on, putting weight, but all these deficiencies would be there. Blood loss, okay, from the GIT, gastrointestinal tract. More so, it is the gynecological causes. So what do we call that as? Dysfunctional uterine bleeding. Yes, it could be due to any cause, starting from pregnancy complications, abortion to malignancy of the endometrium. So what happens here is these women do not meet the doctor as soon as they start abnormal uterine bleeding. So by the time they come to the hospital, they would have lost so much of blood. So normal menstrual loss is also is always there, but this is excessive loss. Okay, then GIT. So here there are so many causes starting from the gastric causes, that is gastric ulcer. So where minimal amount of blood, bleeding occurs, they will not notice it. That's why we ask during in the history about the color of the stool. So if it is black, so one cause is internal visceral, we can say GIT hemorrhage, upper GI hemorrhage. By the time it comes, altered blood black. Otherwise, if the patient is taking iron also, it will be black in color. Yes, so that is one cause we have to know. And another must thing here is people say piles, piles, piles. So they keep on bleeding. It's a fresh bleeding. And where do they go? They don't go to surgeons. I've seen many recently also. One of my, friends, brother, he was a medical representative. So he went, they all go to quacks. They see very nice advertisements of the quacks, treating piles and all that. So then he landed up here. What would be the cause? Most often I've seen it is carcinoma rectum, which is the cause. So blood loss, that is again cause for iron deficiency. Why iron deficiency? Because you said where all the iron is stored. So one is in the RBCs, in the hemoglobin. Then hemodialysis, malabsorption. So whatever, even if we are taking adequate iron, if it is not absorbed, so causes you have written sprue, gastrectomy, atrophic gastritis, and achlorohydria. That's why you said HCl is required for iron absorption. Fine. So causes of iron deficiency in females of reproductive age group, I already told, starting from pregnancy, complications of pregnancy, to malignancy of that is carcinoma of the endometrium. Yeah, deficient diet, breastfeeding, pathological blood loss. Deficient diet, why? Even today we see There's women eating after they serve food to their husband and children. Okay, that's fine. But many a times when I look at this, people working around, moving around. So if they feed, after they feed their husband, children, whatever is left, they eat. It's so painful to see. So woman who is the person who is taking care of everyone, she doesn't get enough food. This is too much. So women should take care of herself also. So she is also equal in the family. Eat well, avoid this. Only if we are healthy, we can take care of others. So causes of iron deficiency in males and postmenopausal women: peptic ulcer, hemorrhoids. Can you read this
Yes, ma'am.
louder?
Peptic ulcer, hemorrhoids, hiatus hernia, carcinoma of stomach, carcinoma of colon, esophageal varices, ulcerative colitis, hookworm infestation, Plummer-Vinson syndrome.
Yeah, students, you read about Plummer-Vinson syndrome. Okay, so typically a middle-aged woman comes with dysphagia. Okay, so difficulty to swallow. However, she could be, I've seen obese women also, and she will have iron deficiency. So read about it. So we discussed, I don't know for this batch or the previous batch. So this is actually Patterson-Kelly syndrome. So Patterson and Kelly were the people who discovered this, but Plummer-Vinson published it. That's why documentation is so important. So that's typical iron deficiency anemia. Then hookworm infestation. So why hookworm infestation causes iron deficiency? This also we just, I think spoke about it in one class. So all these hookworms, really, if you see hookworm, it is a hook only. It just hooks to the intestinal mucosa, starts, yeah, sucking. It's, I think each hookworm sucks about 0.02 ml of blood or something. So imagine, there'll be hundreds of them. So that's why whenever iron deficiency is being treated, they start treating or before therapy, usually an anthelmintic is given. But how do people get this hookworm infestation? We still see people defecating all around in the open fields, the roadside, everything. Okay. So when we work barefoot in the fields and all that, they work barefoot only. So none of our farmers or their family, they wear protection to their feet and all that. So bare hands and bare feet only. So when they are working in the with the soil, mud and all that, no. So that is how the larvae of hookworm. So imagine one person having hookworm infestation. So he defecates there in the field. So all the eggs that are defecated, so they hatch in the soil, and the larvae would be waiting to continue its life cycle. So larva migrants, like you have seen, how they enter the body. So it is not by ingestion. So they enter through the skin. So normally, God has made a protective layer to the hands and feet. Keratin we have, but so it penetrates in between the fingers and the toes, where the skin is soft. Through that it goes. So then it develops into a mature hookworm. So this is the problem there. So even, even I keep working in the garden, but I don't wear, though I have glove. Many times I would have just, left it. So somehow, we are children also, you get them any amount of, any number of toys, spending any amount, but they're so happy playing with, in the sandpit and all that, the stones and all that. That's how. So we need to be careful. So history, what all should we ask? Chronic blood loss, okay, deficient diet. Then clinical features, it's a repetition. So this is a pale bald tongue, and then pallor in the conjunctiva, spoon-shaped nails. So this, a doctor need not always look for the signs. No, we as patients or human beings. So when we look at ourselves in the mirror, this is all I think we need to look at it, right? So keep checking to how is your tongue and conjunctiva and all that. So these are typical features, pica. So compulsive eating of non-food items, they eat those small, tiny, brick pieces also, they eat soil and all that. So I have a big story to tell about this, why pica and iron deficiency. I'll tell next, okay? But I remember as children, many children, at least we as children, we used to eat this thing, rice, raw rice. My mother and aunt and all, they were sitting and cleaning this rice, so we were taking and eating. So they were scaring us. They said, oh, anemia, you get anemia, don't eat. Otherwise, they used to say, no, it's going to rain in your marriage if you eat this. This is all probably our elders knew that it is interfering with iron absorption, and to prevent children from eating that, they built up some stories to prevent children eating this. Yes. So symptoms, read this. Symptom signs.
Symptoms of iron deficiency anemia are fatigue, lethargy, and weakness.
Louder. You have not had food, so you will develop. If you don't eat, you will not get energy. You will also develop iron deficiency.
Symptoms are fatigue, lethargy, and weakness, shortness of breath, palpitations, headache, and dizziness.
Yes.
And the signs with which the patient will come and you will see in him are pallor of the eyes, lips, skin, and nails, poor condition of the nails, lips, and tongue, hair loss, tachycardia, heart murmurs, cardiac enlargement, and heart failure if anemia is severe.
Okay. So compensatory mechanisms, anemia, there'll be initially compensatory mechanism. So heart starts, beating more and to pump the blood and all that. So otherwise, when severe, as you said, there is cardiac failure, hair loss. So this is what we tell everybody, hair loss. So please come and get your hemoglobin done, and also thyroid hormones. Mixed edema is another cause for hair loss. So when you go work, or you go to school health programs and teenage health, many of these children, they're bothered about this. Yes. So you have nicely depicted all this, pictorially. Yes. So now iron deficiency anemia. So clinician examines the patient and makes a diagnosis of iron deficiency. So that diagnosis has to be confirmed. Okay. So not that the patient will question you, but still. So for a proper therapy, we need to confirm that it is iron deficiency, because we have seen that this anemia, there are so many causes for anemia. Yes. So what has to be done now? So diagnosis of anemia, we just told them what should be done. So peripheral blood smear findings, bone marrow, morphology, iron status. This is just peripheral blood smear findings. Yes, the complete blood counts, which you knew, plus the important is the morphological aspect of the thing. Then comes bone marrow, when we are going to differentiate. Okay, so all patients with iron deficiency do not need bone marrow. Okay, yes. What are the peripheral blood findings?
Hemoglobin, low hemoglobin, 5.
Hemoglobin is decreased, because that is the definition of anemia. Okay, severe anemia with hemoglobin as low as 3 grams per deciliter. And yes, books say that below 2 grams patient may not survive, but our patients, keep walking even with 1.8, 1.5 grams of hemoglobin. Yes. Hematocrit.
Low hematocrit, and at times it may be lower than expected value because of microcytosis of the red cells.
Okay, fine. So we have always, known the relation between hemoglobin and hematocrit. Last class I had told, what is it? Hematocrit is?
Hemoglobin into 3.
Hemoglobin into 3 is hematocrit. Hematocrit divided by 3 is hemoglobin. Okay, fine. So absolute values, yes.
MCV will be less than 80 femtoliter.
So MCV, what is MCV?
Mean corpuscular volume.
Louder.
Mean corpuscular volume.
Yes, it is decreased. Fine.
RDW, that is red cell distribution width, will be increased in iron deficiency anemia.
So what does it tell? So our students were not taught about RDW in the previous class. So here you say RDW is increased. It is more than 15%. So what is the meaning of RDW? So this is the RBC histogram we get with the automated machine when we feed the anticoagulated blood. Yeah. So what is RDW?
That is the width of the RBC.
Show here. Width of
This the area between this curve, it will tell you about the red cell distribution width, which will be increased in iron deficiency anemia. And this RDW is helpful in diagnosing in differential diagnosis of microcytic hypochromic anemia. That is, RDW will be increased in iron deficiency.
Yeah, just show the normal histogram. How is it with normocytic normochromic blood picture? And then how is it with iron deficiency, which is normal here?
This is the normal histogram. In this, the MCV is between 80 to 100 femtoliter, which is normal. But in iron deficiency anemia, because of microcytic hypochromic blood picture, the MCV has been decreased and it has been shifted towards the left. This that is less than 80 femtoliter.
Show the distribution. Yeah, from there.
From here till here is the red cell distribution width, which is seen to be increased here in iron deficiency anemia, but here if you see it is normal.
Yeah, so very in simple words we can say, just see the RBC histogram, normal histogram, it is like this. So see the RBC histogram with iron deficiency, that is microcytic hypochromic. So it is increased, but it is more. That's it. So this is only to say that when you get the RBC histogram and the reports that are generated through the machine, so please have a look at this also for our students, because they would be, it's early clinical exposure and now they're already in second year and they're with the patients. So MCH is reduced, MCHC is reduced. Okay, so red cell histogram is shifted to the left. So reduction in absolute values is related to duration and severity of anemia. Yes. So now there is a blood picture here. So last class, Dr. Rajeshri had shown them many morphological patterns of anemia. That means morphological patterns of different types of anemia. So what do we see here? We defined all these terminologies. So there is anisocytosis, large, small RBCs, variation in size. There is poikilocytosis, that means variation in shape of the RBCs. Okay, so red cells are microcytic. So how we should say, let us take this as a small reference standard, the small lymphocyte. So compare the cells there. Many are of this size and some are decreased. So microcytic hypochromic, otherwise these are normocytic hypochromic. And some cells are like this. So we call them as pencil shaped or cigar shaped cells. Okay. So hypochromia, this is a repetition when the central pallor is more than 1/3 the diameter of the cell. Yes. So in severe anemia, central pallor becomes more. See, for example, this cell. Central pallor is so much that only the outer cytoplasm, we are able to make out. So that is called as a ring or the pessary cell. Yes. Okay. So now next is, we should talk about the WBCs also. What happens to WBCs? So WBCs, the total count could be normal or increased if there is associated any hemorrhage or infection and all that. And differential count is usually normal, but many a times with iron deficiency, we see in the differential count eosinophils that are increased. There could be eosinophilia. What does it mean?
Parasitic infection.
So when there is eosinophilia, so let us think of parasitic infestation, which could be one of the cause for the anemia. There are other causes also for eosinophilia, but given this scenario, Think of that. Okay, platelets are increased only when there is associated hemorrhage. So if they increase, they tell us that there is hemorrhage, otherwise they are normal. Reticulocyte count. So reticulocyte count tells us the bone marrow activity. So it is normal to slightly increased. Okay, only if these patients are being treated, if they're responding, that would increase. Okay, untreated, it is low depending or depends on the degree of anemia. Yes. So microcytic hypochromic RBCs. This picture you have scanned, our picture, that's me as what we have, we could have taken the pictures. Okay. So bone marrow. When do we do a bone marrow for microcytic hypochromic anemia? We have shown a chart algorithm, the flow chart previous class. Okay, when it is not responding to iron, treatment, not responding to iron, or when we are not seeing any abnormal hemoglobins like A2F increase. When we rule out thalassemia, rule out iron deficiency, then only bone marrow is usually done. So otherwise, bone marrow, what happens is there is erythroid hyperplasia because the bone marrow has to compensate for the loss. So ME ratio varies from 2:1 to 1:2. Could be, yes. So erythroid hyperplasia would be there. And when we look at the precursors of the microcytes, naturally they would be small. Okay. So micronormoblasts. So they persistent basophilia and fraying of the cytoplasm, indicating lack of. So still they have blue color. Why? Because hemoglobinization is not happening. So when we look at the nucleus and cytoplasm of the nucleated red cells or the erythroblasts, so nuclear maturity, it requires B12 and folic acid. Cytoplasmic maturity, that is a hemoglobinization. So we require, or the hemoglobin requires iron. Okay, so that is where the changes are seen. So if you can go back to that picture which you had put in the beginning. Okay, so I would just tell you, the question which one of my students had asked. See this picture, right? So why RBCs become small in microcytic hypochromic anemia? Why should they become small? This was long back in JJMMC. Immediately after the class, we used to get about 10 students following us. Minimum 10 students, with each student asking a question. Oh, that's why, we were preparing so much for a class. So in a class, teacher is one brain, but there are hundreds of students. Imagine how their brains work and then asking questions. So this was, I think Kiran was the student. He must be a big shot now, specialized in something, very good student. So he followed me and then asked why the size of the RBC is reduced. We keep telling students normally, like, see, this is a basophilic erythroblast. Okay. So next is polychromatophilic erythroblast. So usually RBC, this is, to simplify, okay. The division RBC stop dividing at this stage. Why? Because they would have attained that critical hemoglobin concentration. So that is probably the stimulus or message for it to stop dividing. So in iron deficiency, what happens even at the stage of polychromatophilic erythroblast? So still, the hemoglobinization, because iron is not there. So it has not achieved that critical hemoglobin concentration. So there is no, not stimulus, what do we say? This thing for the erythroblast to stop dividing. So it goes on dividing. And so ultimately we see that they're all RBCs which have become very small in size. So this is usually, what is the explanation we give for students to understand. Okay, so I'll teach you this later.
Yes.
How? No, you are going to teach me, not me. Okay, so micronormoblast. Okay, so we say looking at children, so how their parents would be.
Yes.
So like that. So microcytes, the parents are also small. Myelopoiesis. Okay. Uh, what is this? You have written megakaryocytic hyperplasia here. So myelopoiesis, two confusing terminologies. So if you give students malignant melanoma, they know it is malignant melanoma, but when they ask them what it is, they say multiple myeloma. That is, confusion. So myelopoiesis has become megakaryopoiesis here. It could be normal or there could be hyperplasia. Megakaryopoiesis is normal or increased. Okay. So important here is depleted bone marrow iron. So this is how do we find out? By doing Prussian blue staining. So there is grading. So we assess the status, iron status. Okay. So this is not required for undergraduates. Okay. So now you have written serum iron, right? So the previous one you have to add here. How do we assess? Okay, the amount of iron in the bone marrow. Morphological. So serum ferritin is less than 12 microgram per liter. If it is so, nil iron stores. Normal is 50 to 300. Yeah, it's like no bank balance. All your money is used up. So serum iron, they all know the normal levels of iron. So here it is reduced. TIBC, what is TIBC?
Total iron binding capacity.
So what happens to TIBC?
It increases.
Yeah, TIBC increases because there's no iron to go and bind to it. Transferrin saturation, what is it?
Transferrin receptor saturation, which is useful for binding the iron.
Yeah, what is transferrin? Transferrin.
It's a receptor.
So it carries oxygen transport, right? So there is no iron, so it will be transferrin saturation is
decrease.
Yeah, so normally 30 to 40%, so it is decreased. So this is diagnostic of iron deficiency anemia. So yes, transferrin receptor, serum transferrin, assay you have written. Okay, then what is this?
It's an index of serum transferrin receptor to ferritin, which gives a better assessment of iron status. A value of, if it is more than 2, then it is diagnostic of iron deficiency anemia.
Yes, then what?
Red cell protoporphyrin, it increases to more than 200 microgram per dl in iron deficiency anemia.
Okay. So I just remember, my niece had severe iron deficiency. Her hemoglobin was just 4 grams or so. And it was just, 10 years or 12 years. I don't know how she developed this food faddism, I tell you. Okay. So this is my niece's daughter. Okay. So I was so scared when but still she used to cycle and all that. Though with little difficulty. Then I sent her to St. John's Medical College. She stays nearby only in Pormangala, and so got everything, all the investigations done. So it was a typical iron deficiency anemia with all this, and she responded so well only to oral iron. I was so happy, seeing the child recover. This young, she was just 10 years or 11-year-old girl. So this is only to say that we see this in our family only. No, not go to a patient or go to the community or go to some low socioeconomic status to see patients with reduced hemoglobin or severe anemia. I was really scared, I was just thinking of thalassemia also. So got everything done, even the electrophoresis and all that. Erythrocyte zinc, yeah, read this off. fast.
Reticulocyte hemoglobin content is reduced and is an sensitive indicator of iron deficiency. Normal range is 28 to 33 picogram per reticulocyte.
Hmm.
Erythrocyte.
Are you all able to hear Samiksha's voice? Otherwise, you need to read.
Erythrocyte, zinc, protoporphyrin in iron deficiency anemia, as iron is not available to attach to protoporphyrin, so zinc gets attached to protoporphyrin and hence the level of zinc protoporphyrin will increase beyond 100 microgram per DL. The normal is 10 to 99 microgram.
So she's the one who has actually made all these, slides. So she's an expert on this topic today. Yes. Stage of iron depletion. Stores are exhausted, decrease in serum ferritin. So initially, when the stores are there, so when patient comes, we see the blood picture as normocytic, hypochromic. Then as the stores really get depleted, they start becoming empty. That typical microcytic hypochromic anemia morphology is seen. That's what you have written here. Yes. Yes. Fast.
In
Stage 1.
In stage 1, ferritin will be decreased. Transferrin to ferritin index will be increased. Serum iron will be normal in stage 1. Total iron binding capacity may be normal or increased slightly. Hemoglobin will be normal and RBC will be normocytic normochromic. In stage 2 iron deficient erythropoiesis, there will be insufficient iron stores. There might be anemia or might not be. There will be slightly microcytic blood picture will be seen. Reticulocyte count will be decreased. Bone marrow sideroblasts are absent.
Okay, so why are you stressing about sideroblasts here? To rule out. Okay.
In stage 2, ferritin will be decreased. Transferrin to ferritin index increased.
You said stage 2 only, no?
Stage. Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Previous.
Yes, ma'am.
Stage 2.
This is ferrokinetics. Next slide.
Okay. So you're talking about stage 2 ferrokinetics. Yes.
Serum iron will be decreased. Total iron binding capacity in this will be increased. Hemoglobin still normal in stage 2. RBCs will be normocytic normochromic.
Fine.
In stage 3 iron deficiency anemia, long-term negative iron balance will be seen. So iron deficiency anemia, classic microcytic hypochromic blood picture will be seen, and all lab tests for iron status becomes abnormal. If we see the ferrokinetics, ferritin will be decreased. Transferrin to ferritin index increased. Serum iron decreased. Total iron binding capacity will increase. Hemoglobin in this will be decreased and microcytic hypochromic blood picture.
Okay. So this is what she has summarized. So iron is decreased. Iron stores are decreased. Okay, fine. Then microcytic hypochromic blood picture would be there. Yes. So there's a case scenario here. The same case what you have taken.
Yes,
50-year-old female comes to medicine OPD with the chief complaints of easy fatigability, nausea, dizziness since 5 days. See, women are very capable, they don't come to the hospital till they get this. This woman would definitely be feeling, that tiredness and fatigue and all that. But ultimately, she wants somebody to bring her to this. So these are all the clinical signs. Okay.
This was a 6-part report in which we can see hemoglobin of the woman is 10.3, which is low.
10.3 grams per
Grams per
deciliter. So this is how we get the hematology analysis, report in our laboratory. So just look at what are these? Histograms and all the values that we get from the automated machine once we feed the anticoagulated sample, EDTA blood. Yes.
MCV, if we look,
violet capped tube.
MCV is 63.7. As we know that normal is 80 to 100 femtoliter.
So MCV is decreased here. Okay, fine.
MCH is 19.4. It is also decreased.
Yeah. So the mean corpuscular hemoglobin. So normally it is 27 to 32. It is decreased picograms. Okay.
And MCHC's mean corpuscular hemoglobin concentration is 30.4%, which is still on the lower side. And if we see the blood picture of this patient, we can see the microcytic cell, microcytic RBCs, pencil-shaped RBCs compared to small lymphocytes.
Yes. So the very fact that, or what we see immediately as soon as we look at this black picture is the hypochromia. The very fact that hypochromia, is seen tells us, yeah, there is iron deficiency. Hypochromia is so prominent here. Then see typical microcytic hypochromic cells here. Yes. So anyway, small lymphocyte is there for comparison. Yes. So laboratory findings, microcytic MCV is decreased. So the hypochromic, yes, because MCH and MCHC are decreased. So microcytosis, as we said, anisocytosis, poikilocytosis would also always be there. Then what are the poikilocytes? Abnormal shaped RBCs that are seen there. Elliptocytes, target cells, the pencil shaped cells, pessary cells. So what are these dacrocytes? What are they? What is dacryocystitis? So they're teardrop cells, Yes. So reticulocyte count, it all depends on whether the patient is responding to the treatment or not. Otherwise, reticulocyte is relative or an absolute may be normal or increased but decreased in relation to severity of anemia. So leukocyte count is normal, as we said. There could be eosinophilia if associated parasitic. So platelets normal or increased, slightly increased if there is any hemorrhage. Yes. So differential diagnosis, this is what we dealt in the previous class. How do we evaluate a blood picture? Microcytic hypochromic blood picture. See, look at this. Get a serum ferritin done. If it is low, iron deficiency. If it is normal, two possibilities. Do hemoglobin electrophoresis. This is all along with the clinical findings. So hemoglobin electrophoresis normal, then we go with anemia of chronic disease or sideroblastic. So if it is abnormal like A2 and F, hemoglobin F increased, that is thalassemia. Yes. Anemia is caused by abnormal iron metabolism mechanism. So you are talking about here sideroblastic anemia, then anemia of chronic cause. So sideroblastic anemia we'll just take up in the next class. So anemia of chronic disease, this also let us take up, or in brief we'll deal with it, because we said anemia of chronic disease also could be microcytic hypochromic. Yes. So chronic microbial infection, chronic immune disorders, any form of malignancy, pathophysiology. What is the pathophysiology? So what is that pathophysiology? You have to write the pathophysiology first. So neoplasms, it just need not be iron deficiency. So if they're being treated with chemotherapeutic drugs, many of them interfere with folate metabolism. So then what type of anemia do they get?
Megaloblastic.
Megaloblastic, yes. Okay. So lab findings you have written. So let us take this up as a separate class, about 40 minutes or just 30 minutes. Sideroblastic doesn't require so much of time, so we'll deal with this. So what is the take home message here? So everybody should be able to identify what?
Iron deficiency.
Iron deficiency, anemia. That's very, very important. It is not only to see a patient with iron deficiency, but we should never suffer from iron deficiency anemia anytime. So start seeing people who are around you. So if you feel they're iron deficient, so please treat them. So bring them to the hospital and see that they get proper therapy. Then third thing is educate them, start educating people about iron deficiency. So make a list, what you have learned in first year of iron containing foods, and wherever you find people in your conversation, so please tell them what has to be eaten, and that is to keep healthy. So for women, you say So if they have adequate hemoglobin, they all look beautiful. No, so tell them, otherwise they blush also. Their face will not become red. So I have seen women only when we talk about not health and relate eating to their beauty. So then they would take all this, tell them, the hair fall and all could be prevented and they'll be pink and I should not say chubby, what to say? Fair, no, this is not, pallor is not fair. Okay, so this is just only to wake you people who are sleeping, okay? So even if you ever slept by chance, okay, so once you wake up, please go back to the video and then listen to the lecture. Okay, thank you. Thank you all. So this was an exercise homework for Samiksha. So she has done this well. It's a part of her thesis also. And one more thing I want to tell you. So we read this chapter in the new book by Dr. Tejinder Singh. So I will just show you that book in the next class. It is just ground floor. I didn't bring it. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Tejinder, sir, for the nice book which has come right on time. So CBME based hematology book for undergraduates. So I'll show you all that in the next class. Thank you.
Thank
Have a
you.
nice day. Thanks, Samiksha.